Welcome, Accelerators. Before I dive in to talk about session 3, I just wanted to go back to explain in a little more detail how to use or how to keep track of the different tabs in the membership system, area and where you are at. So we have 3 overall phases. Phase 1 is called the initiation. Initiation is 1, and that is for September. Then there will be October, which will be phase 2, and then November, which will be phase 3. We'll probably go a bit into December, depending on where you are at. Now, each month is going to be broken down into modules, and you'll see there will be, as they all start to roll out, you'll have 4 modules in a month. 4 modules in a month. So we are in module 2. We are in the second week, right? We're in the second week of the month. Underneath each module, as you get done and more drop down and open and become available to you, every time I have something out for you, it will be called a lesson. It will be called a lesson. It doesn't necessarily mean that there is a workbook to go with it, right? When you just click on the lesson, you'll see if there is a workbook that drops down. Sometimes I will just simply have a video for you because I want to check in about something. I want to give you deeper instruction, something like that. But as far as the workbooks, I'm going to call them sessions. So you'll know if a lesson has a session or not. That is going to have a set of workbooks with it, all right? So at this point, you already have done or have seen, hopefully you have done session 1 and session 2. In session 1, we went deep in our superpowers. And then in session 2, you did explore further, you went deeper with your superpowers or gifts, and you also explored your accomplishments and your credentials. Today, as I intro session 3, we're going to be exploring your unique story and your purpose. But I wanted to just take a minute and pause to recap a little about session 2. So session 2, we did some bottom lining on superpowers. Then we did explore your accomplishments and your credentials. I just wanted to put a little pause on it for a moment to have you hone in to see if you want to go back at all. And the beauty is you can go back at any time to go deeper on your accomplishments and your credentials. I want you to get creative there. So for example, I could say that one of my accomplishments was, wow, am I going to go here? I'm just going to go here because that's what popped in. I'm going to go here for those of you who are in this cohort because we've built that trust and that relationship that I'm going to comfortable being a little exposing of myself. So, for example, I have accomplished that I helped myself identify that I was in a narcissistic relationship, and I have accomplished that I have brought that relationship to a close, and I went on to healthier places, right? It took a lot of self-advocacy and things like that. Now, you would not necessarily think that that's an accomplishment, right? When we think about accomplishments, we're thinking about these wonderful things we've done in our life. Like we went to coach school and trusted the process, and we know what that is, right? Or credentials would be like letters after our names. But what I want you to do is really creative there, and I want you to look at those things that you have accomplished that you can say, I did that. I did that. Sometimes it's going to be things that you're proud of. Sometimes it's going to be things that you think people would want to hear and get inspired by. But sometimes it's going to be those things that you aren't proud of. Or sometimes it's going to be things that were very difficult. And you wouldn't think to necessarily think of them as an accomplishment. But here's the deal. as I mentioned in some of the writing in our last session, those things that we have experienced in our lives help us to have walked in the shoes of our client, right? So I want you to think about that. I want you to be really open-minded and go broad and deep with all of these sessions. So in today, session 3, we're going to be exploring your unique story and your purpose. They're going to be similar to session 2, where as you scroll down, you'll find a place to do some reading as I get you into the space to create and extract what's below the surface for you. But then you're going to have some places where you're going to brainstorm, okay? If you don't have enough room, go get on a dry erase board, go get on a piece of paper, get whatever you need to do, but then gather what you've done when you've bottom lined a brainstormed list, and then that's what you want to create on your workbook. So you can either do a list that's in a series of commas, like this, comma, this, comma, this, comma, this, comma, or you could just have a list like bullet points, right? All right, so again, you're extracting the answers from the work that you do, and that's what you're adding to your document. And then later about your story, you'll see I say in a nutshell, and then another paragraph, in a nutshell. So if you need to first do some deep diving by taking a walk around the block and just talking it all out, or get on a dry erase board, or get on some pieces of paper, whatever it is for you, and get all your ideas out, great, whatever you need to do. And then nutshell or bottom line, and that is what you're gonna want to add into your document, right? I also wanted to just hone in and have you bring some attention to where I have the graphic that says your authentic expertise. You can see where we're at in it. I've circled where we've traveled thus far and then where we're going next in this particular session. And then next in our following sessions, we're going to be going deeper into purpose. We're going there indirectly today. We're going indirectly bringing up some of our purpose as we bottom line some pieces of our story. In session 4 coming up, we're going to go deeper into our purpose and then round it out with our wisdom as we position ourselves as experts. Again, remember, drop me a line anytime you're feeling stuck, anytime you want more info, you want any resources, you have questions, your tech isn't working, anything. Now, all of you, and I'm working with you to choose what are your means of communication that are most in alignment for you, right? You can hit me up in any of those places, DM me, message me, email me, text me, whatevs. You know that it's fine. Thank you also for sharing your feedback. I'm hearing that there are a lot of epiphanies happening, a lot of pieces coming together, a lot of realizations. I'm hearing that 2 weeks into the program, people are embodying and feeling a shift in their confidence level as they see this aspect of themselves. They see themselves embodying and beginning to emerge, or at least on the inside, really start to own that unique expertise that they are, right? And that it's connected, not to these boxes of putting a business together, but it's connected to something deeper that you're all about, and it's connecting to something bigger. So thank you for giving me that feedback. Please, please keep the feedback coming in and let me know, because then I know that it's working, right? Trust the process. And thank you for sharing your deep epiphanies, because when you go there and get vulnerable and you share your deeper epiphanies with me, it's letting me do something special. It's letting me give you extra credit work. It's letting me help you dive in a little bit to some pieces and revealing, as you're showing me you're ready, some pieces that will be in the second phase of our journey, or in the third phase of our journey, so that some of you are starting to work multidimensionally and you're in the sessions of our part 1 initiation, but you're really initiating yourself and going deeper. So some of you are even ready for some other pieces. So share with me what's happening for you so that I can meet you exactly where you're at and give you enough of what you need for exactly where you are in the moment.